Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here representing Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and I would like to chat with you guys a little bit today about how actually easy it really is for most guys to get into great shape and to get to their goals. But if you guys would please click like down below, it'd be greatly appreciated. If you're not following or subscribed, please do so. And if you'd be kind enough to drop me a comment down below, I would also greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. So this is one thing people have brought up. I've had people pushing me to do ebooks and other stuff, and I feel like now that I've come back around to kind of look at a lot of the older school stuff, back to the full body, I do feel like I probably should start putting out more full body templates, right? Sitting down and literally writing out some of these templates and then putting them maybe into an ebook eventually. Because realistically, for most people, right, who are not chasing absolutely extreme goals, right, I'm talking competitive bodybuilding, trying to be up on Instagram, trying to win powerlifting meets, okay? So let's come over the dad bod strength standard I've set. Like if your goals are just to be fit, have abs, decently jacked, decently strong, you want to bench 300, squat 400, deadlift 500, right? I think it could be done 3 days a week. And people are like, you're crazy. You can do full body 3 days a week and reach this stuff. You really could. And I'm not saying you don't need a little isolation work, but realistically, you could just build programs around squat, bench, deadlift, weighted pull-ups of some type, weighted dips. Could you throw in pullovers? Could you throw in some barbell curls, some calves, or reverse hyper? Sure, absolutely. But generally speaking, I would almost say you could literally just build programs around those 5 lifts I just gave: pull-ups or chin-ups, dips, squat, bench, deadlift, right? Not saying not to fill in some other stuff, but really and truly, I don't even know that all guys would need to fill in the other stuff. What about guys who don't struggle with arms? What about guys who aren't chasing really massive arms? They just want good arms. What about guys who have good calf genetics already? Do they even need the other stuff? Maybe not. Reverse hyper wouldn't hurt. But if you think about it, following these with good progression, good form, and I think this is where people run into problems. You know, we discuss form, but it's like, you know, look at what I'm doing on a dip there. How many guys, that's what they mean by good form on a dip? You're going all the way down. You're not cheating, getting a good stretch, pausing a lot of it, coming up. Same thing my benching there. You guys watch me walk over even, you know, doing 315 plus or for reps. You know, just a nice, comfortable pause. Wrist stacked. All right, doing all your exercises correctly. Right? Doing your exercises correctly, right? Through full ranges of motion, not cheating, grinding, horrible ego lifting reps. This is where guys get hurt. It honestly, when people start cutting ranges of motion to chase bigger weights, instead of saying, you know what, maybe on some squats, maybe I should consider going all the way down. And I get it if you're powerlifting, but what about dudes who aren't powerlifting? I could almost make the case of if the average guy just dropped his squats and paused briefly at the bottom, and learn to just squat to full depth, open the knees up, they're probably never going to get hurt on squats. Not if they use safety arms, not if they don't grind crazy horrible reps, when they fail, they hit the pins. You're not going to get overuse injuries with moderate volumes and any of that stuff. You're really not. Dude, guys could just, if they would just use good form. And for me, I will say as a coach, big chunk of my coaching is literally just forcing guys to learn to squat correctly. Now you can go deeper. Open your hips up. Take 50 more pounds back off the bar. You can get deeper, right? Getting to depth. Because when I do the side views on squats, people are like, oh, wow, you go way deeper than we realize from the front. Like, just go down, guys, right? If they did these things, you wouldn't need that much work. At most, like 10 sets a week. You don't even always need that. Right? We don't even always need that. Or they could just do heavy singles on some of them. Come in, do enough extra stuff to build some muscle. All right? Training maxes on their heavy work. They'd be fine. What about some other stuff? Well, if you start doing some GPP, I think you're good. I mean, really, I could build programs off those 5 lifts. Right? Do just enough volume with everything. Get growth. You'll get big. You'll get strong. Everything will grow. Throw some conditioning work. Most guys could do a little cardio. They could stand a jog. Definitely want to walk every day. do some sled work. I mean, that's the other thing too. You know, we could talk about, well, maybe if you're only having them do a little bit of squatting and deadlifting, well, what happens when they start doing, if they push a sled around, drag a sled, push a sled, get a prowler? What happens if they start doing some box jumps? They're going to gain muscle from all that too. Okay. I could literally have guys just heavy squat. What if they're pushing a sled? What if they're jumping on boxes? You don't think that's going to fill in the rest of their hypertrophy? I think it would. I think they'd be in shape. I think they'd be fit. No, really and truly, I could have 2 to 3 workouts a week on those 5 lifts, less than an hour. Most guys would be in the best shape of their life. Even guys who are currently gym rats are doing all these machines, other stuff, all these various, complex programming. Now, I could take them there. The average guy would have the popular physique that people want, the fit athletic physique, as long as they ate a clean diet. They could do it without even counting calories if they just ate clean enough. Did this other stuff, right? What if they did a bro diet? What if guys, I just built programs for guys built around those lifts, workouts less than an hour, and then they put their other time into sleds, jumping, throwing, maybe do some jogging. How fit would they be? I mean, it almost sounds like versions of CrossFit, but it would work. A couple weighted body weight exercises, 3 or 4 big barbell lifts, GPP, jumping, throwing. Again, like I said, sleds are nice. You don't always have to let some kettlebell swings, but definitely sleds and jumps. How much squatting do you really need if you're pushing sleds and jumping to build a big squat? I'm talking to hit the dad bod standards I have. To squat 405. I could have guys just squat singles 3 times a week. Be done in 10 minutes with their squatting. 5 minutes with their squatting. Jump and do sleds. They'd all squat 405. It'd be normal. But hard programming, hard training, that's where people mess up. They're scared to train hard on those lifts. Those lifts, if you actually take them to failure or go really hard with good form on full range of motion, I think most guys would be shocked at how jacked they could get. They'd be absolutely shocked. But then the fitness levels they would get with all this, what if they're walking every day? What if they're jogging and running a couple times a week? What if they're pushing a sled, jumping and throwing a couple times a week? All right? It adds up real fast. A lot of dudes could go down and literally do those full body workouts twice a week and still be in phenomenal shape with plenty of muscle, be lean, be strong, be jacked, be powerful, be explosive. Okay? You can do it just fine, and it really wouldn't take that much equipment. Really wouldn't. And it's not that difficult. But again, getting people motivated and to stay on course. A lot of people still need a coach just for that, in my opinion. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.